Guys, what is up? We're gonna do something a little bit different this week, only because we get asked this all the time. People write me and they say, Ray, first of all, you're so incredibly handsome and talented, and I just wish that we were blood related. And I say, thank you, you know, because I'm a nice and humble guy. And then they ask, how do you get such a good relationship? Now, let me start off by saying, nothing qualifies us to be relationship experts or anything like that. It's just something that we get asked, so I thought, why not provide our input? 10 steps to a better relationship.
Well, 10 steps to a successful relationship, as told by us.
Well, you could do all these 10 and still not have a successful relationship. Sometimes things just aren't meant to work out. They're just not. So I say it better.
It's a good point. Let's start our relationship advice talking about breakups. It's not all meant to work out.
Just not.
Oh, and how about for the single people? You can use this advice for a relationship elsewhere, a friendship, a parent, well, maybe not a parent. Maybe it'll get weird once I start reading it. But you get the idea.
Apparently. 10 steps to a better relationship. Here we go. Rule number 1. Your partner can't complete you.
Do not look to your partner to complete you or make up for your own lack of self-love. Enter into a relationship with someone who values you. No guessing games, no playing hard to get. 2 equals actively choosing each other.
Work on your own shit. Work on yourself. A relationship is not gonna fix you. We all have problems. You got problems, I got problems. She's perfect, but the rest of us have got problems. And a relationship, no matter how good it is, isn't going to solve your problems in a way that's going to fix you. You need to work on yourself independently of your relationship.
Right. Relationships are not magic. In fact, if there's something going on within you, relationships tend to bring that stuff out. So I do recommend, you know, working through your process before relationship and during, to be honest, because it does bring up some stuff for almost anybody.
Not you though, you're perfect. Rule number 2, have healthy boundaries.
You want to respect your partner's personal space and their choices. I mean, really, know what's your job and what's not your job. So I would say that's a sign of respect, and then it's just a sign of, honestly, it's health. If a relationship has codependent tendencies, the boundaries are all blurry and kind of crazy. And so healthy boundaries just means we don't have to like all the same things or sees things all the same way, and we can be agreeable. Don't go into a relationship hoping that the guy's gonna change.
Oh, Lord.
People are who they are, and they will show you who they are right away, and either that's gonna work for you or that's not gonna work for you. But be careful about trying to change anybody.
So you might like Adam Sandler movies, your partner likes Quentin Tarantino movies. Both are fine. Just do your Adam Sandler movies on your own time. They can do their Quentin Tarantino movies on their time. Don't try and necessarily change them. Don't try to bring them over to your side if that's not what they're into. And that goes not just for taste in movies, but their behavior, their quirks, their flaws, so to speak, because you're in for a huge disappointment. Trying to change people, that's just not gonna work. And no one's gonna change you.
He likes rap music. I like musical theater. I wait for the nights when he's not home to sing all my musical theater songs.
There you go.
Extremely loudly.
There you go.
Till he walks in the door, and then pretend like I wasn't doing anything.
Ha!
Okay.
Number 3, show gratitude.
That goes so far to be appreciated for the little things that you do. Like, people wanna know that you see and you notice and you appreciate the things that they're going out of the way to do for you, and then it makes them feel good in return, so then everybody's happy. And even if you've said the thing that you're saying 100 times, each day is a new day. So when I lay at bed at night, I tell Ray, you know, how much I appreciate him, not only for the things that he's done, or things that he's done that day that were meaningful to me, but for who he is. I've also learned that that's not the time that he likes to talk.
I mean, I'm trying to sleep, but you know.
But I get to do it anyway. And then he's found out I'm not a morning person at all. So that's not the time I'm gonna compliment him in the morning, because I kind of don't compliment anything in the morning, but he compliments me.
She's grumpy in the morning, so. So I try and compliment her, and it helps her wake up a little more on the bright side, I would say. And then in a way, it's also like Pavlov's dog, when you ring the bell and then they salivate. If your
yes,
if your partner
okay.
If your partner is doing something that you think is awesome or that you really enjoy, let them know. Instead of being like, you should do more of this, just wait till they do it and then be like, that was amazing, thank you for doing that. And then the more you do that, the more likely they are to exercise that behavior.
That's right. And people stop things if they feel that it's not being appreciated or noticed. They'll just stop. And you're like, remember when you used to do that thing?
Remember when you used to ring the bell and I would salivate and it was all cool? I miss that. Rule number 4, resist the urge to make them wrong. And
the need to be recognized as right. No, I told you so's. Those don't tend to do very
No,
well.
I told you so doesn't help anything.
And I think that's really important, is to just be forgiving to them as you would want to be forgiving to yourself. Just remember your partner is human and we're all just doing the best we can at any given day, any given time. That's all we're ever doing. The best we know at the time with the information we have at the time. If your partner makes mistakes, just have compassion, because it's gonna happen to you too.
No one wants to be like, remind me of when I fucked up again. Remind me of that. When was that? Could you go over that in detail, please? Okay.
People want to know that you will love them throughout their mistakes, because if you're in a relationship long enough, you know, stuff happens. It does.
Number 5, you're on the same team. It's not, well, I'm Republican and she's Democrat. No, you're all Americans, or like, I'm Dominican and she's Canadian. Nope. You're both earthlings. Like, no matter what, you're on the same team and you're equal.
And you are equals playing on that same team. So no competition and no comparison. Like, don't put your partner above you or below you. You know, it's lonely above on a pedestal. It's lonely when you're below. Like, don't do that. Or if they're making more money than you, or they just got a better job and that's starting to bring up stuff for you, like, no, that's your stuff to work with, and be so incredibly happy for them. And celebrate each other's accomplishments and acknowledge them when they're really, really trying. You know, be that person that they can't wait to tell you, oh my gosh, believe what happened today. Can you believe this is amazing? And be that person that understands and goes out and has margaritas with them to celebrate.
Margaritas.
Definitely.
Number 6, margaritas.
Yeah, we should just make one all margaritas.
Number 1 through 10, margaritas. Number 6, this is pretty standard advice here, but compromise.
And be considerate. That goes so far. Little tiny little compromises like that. What show do you want to watch? What music do you want to listen to? How do we make this enjoyable for everybody here? Like,
Yeah.
Ray, if he wakes up before me, he'll always leave just a little bit of milk left in the carton so I can have my coffee. He doesn't drink the whole thing.
Well, now you're embarrassing me.
That is so nice.
Oh, Lord.
Because then I wake up and he's like, he thought of me.
It's not just compromise, it's considerate compromise. Be considerate in your compromises. You know, don't be a jerk about it. Don't be like, and here I am leaving milk for you again in the carton. No, that's not the reason to do it. Compromise because it'll make the other person feel good, not because you feel like you need to.
Well, and it feels good for you too.
Yeah. Yeah. It should feel good.
Yes, giving and receiving, they're both
It should feel good.
They're good for everybody involved.
Number 7, have spoken agreements.
Meaning no unspoken expectations. Expectations are death. Oh my gosh. If there's something that's really, really important to you and you're like, well, they just should remember on their own, might not go so well. Because your partner's not a mind reader. They don't know. So communicate what is really, really important to you. And if you have an expectation, that's a really easy way to be disappointed and have a really big fight and honestly get your feelings hurt. Because
Right.
I think that if you, like, for instance, if it's incredibly important to you that your partner remember your anniversary, but maybe they're not so good with dates, you know, first of all, don't take that personally. And secondly, like, just let them know and they can set an alarm on their phone or something like that. Be like, listen, can we make an agreement that we're gonna do something on our anniversary and blah, blah, blah. Rather than, well, he just should remember on his own, you know, and if he doesn't, then I'm gonna take it personally and my feelings really hurt.
Yes, make sure your agreements are verbalized and spoken and they are understood, because misunderstandings are the cause of 90% of the world's disagreements.
Oh yeah.
Just speak and make it clear what you do want, what you don't want, or what you do expect, what you don't expect, what you do prefer, what you don't prefer. No one's a mind reader.
Nobody.
No.
I've had people have expectations of me and then I haven't met them and they called me furious with me and I'm like, if you just told me this was important to you beforehand, I would have done the thing. 100% if we'd had an agreement about it.
Right.
But I didn't say that I was gonna do the thing. Why are you mad at me for not doing the thing?
We gotta do the thing.
I guess so.
You gotta do the thing. Why don't we do the thing? Who are all these people who don't do the thing? Rule number 8, don't blame your partner for your feelings.
If you're upset, just be honest about it and be like, you know, I'm just feeling a little upset, a little disturbed right now, got a bit of a headache going on, without blaming your partner, being like, you're the cause of all my problems. What I also think is important is to have an agreement in place of what works best for each individual partner in times of upset or stress or disagreement. Because all of us are human, we all get upset at some point, and all of us are temporarily insane when we're upset. I mean, we are insane.
Temporarily.
And so that's not the time that you want to have this discussion. When you're both really neutral and calm, come to an agreement. Being like, you know, when I'm upset, it doesn't work for me to talk about things in the moment because I don't want to say anything I'll regret. So here's the guideline. Let's not talk about it. Just know that everything is going to be fine. Just let me do my thing and get through my feelings, and you go make a sandwich. Or maybe you are the person that you want to talk about it right away and just soothe that out right away. For me, it's actually really difficult for me to say that I'm upset. And so Ray knows that I don't like to talk about it too much. But if he comes over and he hugs me, I kind of can't be upset anymore.
Ray hugs solve everything.
It does though, you know, because it's like when you're mad at your partner, like you don't want to look at them like, no, as long as I don't look at you, then I can hold on to my story of why I'm upset right now. And as soon as you look at me, you're like, okay, I don't know. Or at least that is for me. But what I would just say, everybody is very, very different when they're upset. So have an agreement between the two of you. All right, when we're having an argument, when you're upset, like how do you want this to go, and come to an understanding.
Number 9. Listen to their perspective.
Even if it's maybe not all that interesting to you, just know that it's so important to your partner. He lets me talk about Harry Potter for like hours. And he's like, okay, cool, that's interesting. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I'm into that he's not as much into, but he just really respects that it's important to me. And I just love that he lets me just talk about it. Yeah.
Right, so it's not just about listening to them or active listening per se. It's about trying to understand their full perspective to the best of your ability. Knowing that it may not be anywhere near your perspective. Their truth may not be your truth. May not happen, but at least try and listen and try and understand, and that'll help you out a ton.
It will, and it'll have much more connection throughout the rest of your life, because it's like when we can't do anything but have conversation, we'll still get to have amazing conversation.
There you go.
Because we have years of practice of deep, meaningful conversation. And set aside some time. Have a date night where it's very undistracted communication, where you're actually looking at each other instead of your phones.
Number 10, relationships are for learning.
They're for learning. They don't always have to last for forever to be a successful relationship. If you learned a lot about yourself through a relationship, then that was a successful relationship. Truly, because they prepare you for what's next. And if it does last forever, you're gonna learn so much about yourself, you're gonna grow so much, and if you use it for learning, the both of you do, you're just gonna keep growing together.
Learn about, you know, your partner, other people, their perspective, how they handle things, how they view situations, and then also reflect upon yourself. What did you learn from that relationship about yourself? How do you handle situations? What preferences do you have in the actions that your partner has taken? What do you dislike about some of the things that your partner has done? And then how can you learn from that and then use that information in a positive way in your next relationship?
All my other relationships were just learning about what I didn't like.
What you won't put up with?
And then I found you.
Aw, that's cute. Oh.
Or maybe you found me.
That's cute.
Yay.
Alright guys, thanks for watching our video. You know, again, take our perspective with a grain of salt if you don't trust what we have and haven't learned out of this.
What did you guys think about what we said? And if you were writing these tips, what would you put in there? Like, what would number 11 be?
What would number 11 be?
Let us know. Is this gonna work for you? It's gonna be something that you try? Or what are your own tips? What has worked for you?
Number 11, margaritas and foot rubs.
Foot rubs.
Okay.
Are 11.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now you see why this is going so well. Now you see why it's going. All right, guys, we'll see you next week.